Welcome to A Mind for Life. Today we are in the cosmology of being, and we are talking about the refractivity of mind today. I've been telling you guys I'm going to do this video, and woo, it is a awesome video. Now, let me say this, and I've said this before for newcomers. A Mind for Life is offering spiritual, philosophical technology so that you can live your truth. A Mind for Life is not a dogmatic channel. I am not a guru. You are your own guru. There is a God, but you are little g. All right. So I said that. Now let's move to the video. The refractivity of mind. This is revolutionary to me. Now, before we get into that, let's talk about thought. All right, let's get into this idea of thought. Now, I told you before, thought is any movement of inner mind conscious awareness. Thought is any movement of inner mind conscious awareness. So you are fantasizing, that's thought. Your fingernails growing, that's thought. You analyzing, that's thought. You getting an intuition or intuiting, that's thought. Now you can go back to the video before when I was talking about that, and there is a video just on this, and check that video out. Thought is any movement of inner mind conscious awareness, which means this. To be a thought, it doesn't mean that we have to be aware of it for it to be a thought. See, we think this right here. Okay, I'm thinking about John going to the store. I'm thinking. So the thought is happening. It's real. What I'm saying here is this. Thought is any movement of inner mind conscious awareness, which means that you don't have to be aware of it for it to be. Thought in itself is an awareness. Thought in itself is an awareness. That's key. Now, you are aware of thought at the level of the trichotomy of identity. As I've said that before too. There is another aspect of your universe, a realm of your universe that you are not consciously aware of, but thought is still happening there. All right? Thought is energy. Thought is a frequency, a wavelength. Wavelength and frequency are different ways to measure energy. All right. So, and this is something from my journey. What helped me out a lot is really understanding that it's not the words that I'm thinking or the thoughts that I'm thinking. I'm dealing with an energy. I'm dealing with an energy, not just what I'm thinking. Oh, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do this tomorrow, or I shouldn't have did this, or maybe they should have done that, or I'm happy about this, or I'm angry about this, and it's manifesting itself within me as language, linguistics. Thought is not language. Thought is energy. When I begin to realize this, and this is what you're going to realize during this cosmology, you are dealing with energy, not just a thought. So you can begin to identify different shades of energy. Very important. And then I began to say, oh, that's the same energy. Ah, that's the same energy. Ah, that's the same energy. Even though I was having thoughts about different particular things, it was the same energy. Then I began to say, okay, I don't want that energy, because thoughts, linguistic manifestation, can be very seductive in that it gets you to think about it. But once you get past that and you realize you're dealing with an energy, it's revolutionary. So thought is any movement of inner mind conscious awareness. All right, that's the key. And that awareness is not a function of our awareness. Thought in itself is its own consciousness. It's its own awareness. It's aware within itself, not dependent upon my conscious awareness. Okay, so that's what thought is. And we went through what the different thoughts would be. Your fingernails growing, as I just said, hair, imagination, analyzing. All of those are thoughts. Now let's get to this business of refractivity. What's the big deal with refractivity? I've said it a few times, but what's the difference? Let's use this analogy from science. Refractivity is white light passing through, say, a droplet of water or a prism. As white light passes through the drop, it bends at an angle, and when it bends at an angle, the components of the white light split up into different frequencies that were all contained in the white light. Red, orange, blue, yellow, green, violet. Now, this is the rainbow. So if you've seen a rainbow, the technical definition of it is that white light has passed through millions of droplets and bent or refracted and split into these different colors. So you're seeing the components of white light, which carries all wavelengths of all the visible spectrum, those colors or those shades. We can also talk about it in terms of frequency, because remember, wavelength and frequency are two different ways to measure energy. So we're really talking about individuations of energy here when we're talking about this. Very key. Now, when it comes to the different shades or different frequencies or wavelengths, we have some fast, some slow. We have different wavelengths and we have different frequencies of the waves through a certain point. Now, this is not a scientific discussion here, but I want to get you to understand that as this refraction process happens, we get different shades, some closer together than others. Violet being the fastest, just say violet, or red being the slowest or lowest energy, violet being the fastest. Now that's refractivity, and that can go through a prism as well. Now, what is refractivity of mind? And now this is more than just a fancy analogy here. Actually, this is the reverse. This scientific discussion of refractivity is a man-made thing. I'm about to tell you about something that's really happening, where the man-made thing came from. Refractivity of mind. Enlightenment is refractivity of mind. Aha, some of you got that right away. Refractivity of mind is enlightenment. Enlightenment is refractivity of mind. I'm saying the same thing because it may jog it in a different way in your understanding, awareness. This is really interesting. When mind interacts, which is all thought, interacts with your universe. Now remember the divine sequence, right? So we have mind manifest thought. You see, this is how. When mind interacts with your universe, the universe, that's what we're feelizing and realizing on this channel. When mind interacts with your universe, it splits, it refracts. When mind refracts, it refracts into thought. That's it, right there. That's it. When mind interacts with the different aspects of your universe, it splits, or it refracts, and it splits into what? It splits into thought. What is thought? Thought is energy. It splits into different gradations of energy in your universe. These gradations or different frequencies have different effects. These different shades enlighten your universe. That's what enlightenment is. Enlightenment is not just going to the mountaintop and getting the vision. Okay? Enlightenment is just not meditating till you get this big revelation. That's enlightenment. However, enlightenment is an everyday thing. When your heart beats, you are enlightened. When your fingernails grow, you are experiencing enlightenment. When you have an imagination you are enlightened. When you are analyzing, you are enlightened. You understand. Enlightenment has been told to us to be this big thing that we go for so we can have more whatever we want. Peace, love, joy, happiness, whatever. But we have overlooked the simplicity of enlightenment. It's not a religious concept. It's an everyday thing. When light refracts through your universe into different thoughts, and remember, thought is any movement of inner mind conscious awareness that's not a function of our conscious awareness in the trichotomy. So when mind does that, it does it for change, for creation. What's the purpose of refractivity? The purpose of refractivity is creation. Let me say that again. The purpose of refractivity is creation. That's the whole reason that thought exists, is for creation. Anytime there is a thought, there is a creation. It doesn't matter if we act on the thought in physical action. Just the fact that the thought exists means that there's creation involved. So, to recap, refractivity is enlightenment. Enlightenment is refractivity. Same thing in a different way. When mind, which is God, which is all thought, all energy, interacts with your particular universe, it refracts. When it refracts, it splits into its component frequencies, which are thought. Thoughts are any movement of inner mind conscious awareness according to its kind. These different shades enlighten, bring light to you. Many people are trying to go out and get enlightenment out here. However, the kingdom of God, of mind, which is ultimately manifested in thought, energy, is within. It's within. So there is no going out trying to find it. It's always going to be within. Okay, so the mind refracts into different colors within you. Now I'm drawing an analogy a little closer now. Now, we're going to get into this in the next video. But the question is this: how does mind refract through each aspect of your universe? In other words, remember the I am self, remember the plastic mind, the trichotomy of identity, physical manifestation. How does mind interact with each of that? Some of that's going to be the subject for the next video. But for this video, we can say this, it's just as an overview. Mind refracts through the I am self as reflection. Reflection is the thought. Reflection is the thought. Now, when I say reflection, I don't mean reflection like thinking about the past. I mean reflection in terms of having an image reflected back to you as a source. If you are the source of your image and you look into a mirror, what you're seeing reflected back to you is that reflection. That's thought. You're not thinking about what happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. You are seeing a reflection of yourself in that mirror. That is a thought. We are created in the image of God. We are a reflection of God. Therefore, mind is refracting through the I am self and interacting with the I am self as reflection, which is thought, which is frequency, which is energy, which is us being little g, little God, little g, in the image of. The plastic mind, the reflection is in terms of storage. Remember I said the plastic mind is your storage, it's your cloud. So mind here refracts with the plastic mind in terms of it being storage or memory. Memory is thought. It is contained. It is thought. It is aware. Now, this brings us full circle back to the trichotomy of identity. All right. It brings us all the way back to that. Remember, we left off at the conditioned body and we took a branch into mind. Now we're going back to the trichotomy of identity, and we're going to pick it up with the conditioned body. All right, we're going to pick it up with the conditioned body. But within this discussion in the trichotomy, we're also going to talk about how mind refracts through the inspired self, the physical self, and of course the conditioned body. So that is, and let me say this too. This is not Platonic. This is not that there is a form of something and we have different manifestations of it. No, that's not what this is. Tree, for example, I'm not saying there is a form of tree and so all the different trees, maple tree, palm tree, etc., are different manifestations of the idea of tree. That's not what's going on here. These are things within themselves. They are different frequencies within themselves. They are different shades. Blue is not green. Purple or violet is not yellow. They are different frequencies of that. You understand? So a palm tree is a different a slightly but adjacent frequency to, say, a maple tree. They're all trees, but they're slightly different shades according to its kind. All right. So that ends the video on refractivity. I know there was a lot in here. Go back and check this video out. Look at it again. Take notes if you want. The next video, we will be back in the trichotomy of identity, and we will be talking about the conditioned body. All right. That's it for this video. A Mind for Life. Peace out.